In this presentation, I will present funds of knowledge gathered on a student in my classroom. I chose to take a closer look at the culture of a Hispanic child in my class. I chose the Hispanic culture because in the rural community I live in, it's one of the prominent minority cultures. In the following presentation, you will get to know Rose. You will hear a brief analysis of the interviews I conducted with Rose and her mother, how teachers should consider funds of knowledge to help students be successful in the classroom, and a conclusion of what I took away about embracing students' cultures in my classroom. Meet Rose. Rose is an 8-year-old third grader in my class. She was born in Mexico but moved to the United States when she was 3. Rose is the youngest of 4 children in her family. She speaks English and Spanish. At home, she speaks only Spanish, and at school, she speaks English. She can read and write in English, but she cannot read or write in Spanish. Rose is currently reading on a 2nd grade reading level. She struggles with decoding unfamiliar words and comprehending longer text. She's also performing below grade level in math. Rose is a good writer, but often writes in short, simple sentences with a few grammatical and spelling errors. Rose has exited the ESOL program, but continues to receive EIP support and reading and math intervention classes. She attends the after-school program for more reading and math support. At the beginning of the year, Rose was very shy and quiet. She did not interact with me other than answering questions she was asked. I had taught Rose's 2 older brothers previously, and they both had the same shy, quiet nature. I quickly made a connection with Rose by talking about how I knew her brothers. This became the bond that allowed her to open up to me a little. If she initiated any conversation with me, it was always about her brothers. She would update me on how her brothers were doing, their birthdays, and their jobs. When completing the interviews, Rose enjoyed talking about her family more than she liked talking about herself. In the first interview, she only answered questions when asked and wouldn't provide much information otherwise. This made interviewing a little difficult at first. I found I needed to do several smaller interviews because I didn't have enough questions prepared and she gave me very little information. In the last interview, she opened up a little more and was smiling more, but she still only was giving direct answers to questions asked. The day after I finished my last interview, Rose came to me and asked if I had any more questions that she could answer. Judging by her comment, I feel that Rose enjoyed the attention from me and liked sharing about her personal life. I conducted several short interviews with Rose and one interview with her mother. During these interviews, I focused on her family and her traditions and lifestyle. I found that Rose thinks her family is special because they all work. From my interviews, I found that Rose's family places a high priority on working and education. Her mother, father, and 2 oldest siblings all work. During my interview with Rose's mother, her major concern was Rose's academics and how to help her succeed. Rose's lifestyle and traditions did not seem any different than mine. She said her mom cooks chicken and rice a lot and her favorite meal is tamales. Rose's funds of knowledge helped me to better understand Rose as a learner in my classroom. The purpose of the interviews was to get to know Rose as an individual so that I could get to know her as a learner. Case study analysis can be extremely useful in providing background information for the teacher to utilize in planning and implementing their instructional programs. How can teachers incorporate other cultures in their classroom? Teachers should adopt a culturally responsive approach to teaching. Gay refers to culturally responsive teaching as using the cultural knowledge, prior experiences, frames of reference, and performance styles of ethnically diverse students to make learning encounters more relevant and effective for them. Some key characteristics of culturally responsive teaching include acknowledging students' cultural heritages, connecting home and school experiences, using a variety of explicit strategies with cooperative learning, and incorporating multicultural materials. When teachers have a better understanding of English language learners' funds of knowledge, they can create ways to make students more successful. According to Carson, not to consider how this background might affect language acquisition is to deny an essential aspect of these learners' experiences and will ultimately lead to an incomplete and inaccurate description of their language learning. If teachers do not have an understanding of students' funds of knowledge and use this background information in their instruction, then it will be difficult for students to be successful when acquiring a new language. When teachers are able to get to know their students and where they come from, they are able to create more meaningful and purposeful lessons. After completing the ethnographical study on Rose, I've realized that I still don't have the entire picture of Rose's culture. Although I know a lot more about Rose than before I started, I still don't feel like I have enough information. Interviewing an 8-year-old can be difficult. Rose's shyness made an impact on the amount of information I acquired. Perhaps visiting her home or sharing a meal would have allowed Rose the opportunity to open up and share more about her culture. The last interview with Rose made me critically think about Rose's culture. Rose's lifestyle and traditions didn't seem too different than my own lifestyle and traditions. It made me wonder if the rural area where Rose lives has made her culture less important or devalued. It made me start to wonder if Rose has assimilated into a new culture or if she just feels ashamed of her culture. After the interviews were complete, during a class discussion about Thanksgiving traditions, I noticed that Rose changed her description of what she was doing for Thanksgiving dinner. The students were all discussing how their families get together and they make a big turkey dinner. When it was Rose's turn to share, she stated that her family was all getting together and her mom was going to cook a turkey. This was different than the information Rose gave me in the interview. I wonder if this was true, or if Rose just wanted to be like everyone else, or if she thought that she should be like everyone else. This ethnographical study has made me realize how important it is to celebrate and embrace the cultures of the students in my classroom. I don't want the students in my classroom to feel that they need to be ashamed of their culture or that they need to lose their culture. It is important for students to feel that they can share their differences with each other and in the classroom, and classrooms need to provide opportunities for students to celebrate their differences. I've learned the importance of using cultural responsive teaching to provide English language learners, like Rose, with more meaningful instruction.